A fly just flew into my nose. Okay, let's start. So, let's talk about the topic of sexuality. Excuse me if I don't look into the camera perfectly all the time, because I have like the window here and today it's a very beautiful blue sky with some clouds and birds. It helps me to think. So sex and pain during sex. This is for people who have vaginas, for women or people who have vaginas. So I have spoken to women who have told me that they have experienced pain during sex. I have spoken to quite a few women who have engaged in sex because they were afraid to have an awkward conversation about that they actually don't feel like having sex. I've spoken to quite a few women who are in long-term relationships and have the sex, so the quote-unquote harmony stays intact, which is a really fucked up harmony, just by the way, right? But I don't say this to blame anybody. I say this to wake us all up to fucked up fake harmony. So pain during sex can, from my experience, have different reasons, and I'm gonna speak about them now. So I've been to my gynecologist a couple of times, not because of my pain, but because of the regular checkup. And I was talking to her about my work in sexuality and working with women in sexuality and deeper self-knowledge and consciousness and emotional wisdom, body wisdom. And when I told her that, she was like, oh wow, I have quite a lot of women in my practice that are suffering from in German it's easier to say, but in English it's vaginismus or vulvodynia, which is apparently by modern medicine just some unexplainable pain in the vaginal area. Like modern medicine, like they are assuming it's got like some psychosomatic reasons, but they can't find physical reasons for it. And if you have heard me speak for a while, I always say, like, to me, psychosomatic, whether something is psychosomatic or not, it's not even a question anymore. It totally is. Like, psyche means soul in ancient Greek, and soma means body, and the psyche lives inside the body, so of course they are related, they are together, of course they impact each other. So to have like vulvodynia or vaginismus, apparently from what I hear from the sisters who are struggling or suffering from this, it's apparently like some really crazy chronic pain in this area, which is also present when there's no sexual intercourse happening. So I'm very grateful that I don't have it, and I'm really sorry for those who have it. I don't, like, right now in this moment I can't feel like I can imagine. I have moments where I can feel so empathetic and I can feel myself so much into people, but while I'm recording this video I'm like in a bit of a different mind space and feeling space. So I found this out from my gynecologist that it's very common, and then I also found out through working with some women that these women were having sex or were having pain during sex, or at least like some discomfort that didn't make it enjoyable for them. So what I learned on my journey, I have had sex that was painful in previous relationships, especially because I thought I need to do it so my boyfriend's happy, so my boyfriend doesn't go fuck another woman. Those were the reasons. So in my journey of womanhood, you could say, and of becoming more aware of my vagina, of my yoni, of my womb space, of my body, I started becoming more aware of the sensitivity as well and of pain. So now in my current relationship, I cannot allow pain anymore. So when pain comes up, like the most important thing I think we have to do is like stop. Like just fucking say it, like out, stop. I'm just feeling some pain. I'm feeling discomfort. It's not feeling good to me. Can we please pause? This is like the most important thing. And ladies, I'm kind of sorry to break it, but if you don't feel like you could say no with your partner, you really need to think about your communication in your relationship and your connection in general. Like, I know it's maybe a hard one to swallow, but I think a relationship is mainly supposed to be a safe haven and a place of rejuvenation and a place of healing together, of intimacy, right? So of course it's not always that. Of course we're going to fight, and of course we're sometimes not going to feel safe and loved by our partner, and sometimes we want to run away, but we need to feel like we can speak how we feel. This makes me so angry, partially, because I see so many people not communicating openly in their relationship. And communication is key. Also when it comes to sex, when it comes to this topic of pain during sex. So the pain can also come from, coming back to the why of the pain, come from disembodiment. You know, we all learned to be disembodied. We all learned to dissociate to various degrees in our society. Our society teaches us to not feel ourselves, but to push, and to do some weird outside shitty things instead of listening to our bodies. So when we do that, and we also do that during sex, eventually our vagina either goes numb or it is in pain. And the pain is literally a scream for, ouch, hello, listen to me. I feel, ouch, it's not right. So what I can say from my personal experience as well is that the way I used to have sex is quite different to the way I have sex now, because previously, I had sex like based on what I saw in porn, based on what I thought my boyfriend liked, and based on what I thought like is good sex, basically. And that usually is like kind of fast, not much warming up the body, not much warming up the yoni. And it's also kind of a lot about satisfying the guy and trying to look perfect and be the sexy woman that the man adores and has a good time with. Like, it sounds really fucked up, but if you really dig deep, you will find these kind of behaviors and thought patterns, because this is what has been indoctrinated into us directly and indirectly by the society that we just grew up in and that we are transforming at the moment, by the way. So a lot of women have had sex when they were under the influence of alcohol or other substances. A lot of women have had sex that they didn't really feel like 100% yes to. And oftentimes this not 100% yes, just as I said, stems from not actually feeling your body properly, not actually even really knowing what feels good, not being connected to the vagina, to the yoni, not knowing what the yoni is actually speaking, but just being up in our heads about some ideas we have. So the time can come where there's just pain, because our yoni is like, stop, no more. And the time can come when we also start to become more conscious, as many of us nowadays are. If you're watching this video, you probably as well. By the way, you can also listen to this on podcast. I wanted to say this in the beginning. Sexuality, Love, Consciousness is the podcast. Pain can become even more present when we start being more present with this part of our body. Because when we start for the first time, or when we finally start putting our attention into our yoni, like truly during sex, we can realize like, ouch, oh my God, what have I been doing? Ouch, this actually, I thought this was like an awesome movement. I thought this would feel like awesome, but actually it does not. Actually, it does feel uncomfortable. So we need to get connected to our yoni first and foremost. This is so important for us women. We need to do self-exploration. You can, by the way, download my ebook, Introduction to Yoni Self-Exploration. It's through my website. You enter your email address. You do get signed up for the newsletter, but I send cool newsletters. So yes, one important step is yoni self-exploration. Like some people also call it yoni mapping, like literally taking your mind first and feeling into your yoni. And then step by step, you can also use your finger and explore outside and inside. But this is something I think every woman should do, and you can approach slowly. So just throwing that in here as well. Of course, sometimes there's other medical reasons for pain. Please go check with your doctor first. But the reason why yoni self-exploration or self-massage is so useful is because you get to know this part of your body. You get to know what feels like what. You get to just even sensitize this part of your body. Like so often we're so disconnected because we're not feeling into it. So like the mind-body connection, the neural pathways are literally like dormant. So we need to start to awaken them by practicing touch, breath, feeling into it, just like putting attention into it, just like every day, at least for a moment, placing your hand down there and breathing and feeling. This is like a step. And as I said, like saying no, saying stop, communicating this to the partner is so important. And I wish for you that you'll have a partner who you can do this with and who holds you in this. And this is what I want to speak to more now as well. So the different self-care practices with yourself, by yourself, with your yoni are important. And I do offer coaching around these topics. So if you're interested, you can contact me. Link in the description. The other thing that I want to speak about is in the setting of being with a partner in sex, during sex. So if you feel pain coming up there, as I said many times now, stop. Say it. Stop. Actually, let's go a little bit more previous to penetration. If you are like not feeling like it, if you are feeling like you're pressuring yourself, or if you're feeling pressured by your partner, this is like also something where you already should start opening your mouth about it. Like not should, you need to. If you want to feel empowered in your own skin, you need to speak about this. You need to say, whoa, here's something going on about our sex life. Like, I feel like this. I don't feel like that. I wish to feel like that. Like it's a huge topic. So this video is just a little wake up introduction call, but you need to speak about it. You need to word it. So in the sexual act itself, what you can do, when the pain arises, you pause and you breathe. And you can let your partner know what you are experiencing. And you really want to like slow down. Like slow motion. I could make this video slow motion, like breathe and slow it down. That is how the body can start relaxing. Breathing deeply into your belly, yeah, full body belly breaths. with an open mouth exhalations. It helps the body to relax. And sounding during this. So the pain can be muscular, can be tension, but the burning sensations, as I have learned, is often also like, the emotional, the nerve, the subtle. And both types of pain we can release through breath and through sound. Breath and sound is energy. And if you breathe in and you feel into the discomfort, and then you exhale out and give sound to that discomfort, that's one pretty good way of releasing it. And don't expect you take 2 or 3 deep breaths and it's just going to be disappeared. Sometimes it can happen quite fast or easily, but usually it takes time, and usually it can literally be that the penis of your partner can move like a millimeter, and then there is the next discomfort and the next pain, and you need to stop again and you need to breathe, and maybe you need to ask your partner something that he actually really loves you. Maybe you need to hear that he's really there for you. Maybe you feel like you're not really safe with this guy, so you need to check in. Am I really safe with him? Can I really go forward? This is like literally your yoni speaking to you, her wisdom of checking in. Is this safe? Is this okay? Is this possible to open more deeply, to surrender to this person? It's like that. And so this is really my message. If we manage to do it that slowly, if we really practice getting into our body, into our vagina, letting go of how we think sex should be, but exploring ourselves, entirely ourselves, psyche and body, in the sexual act, we can experience by working through the pain, by moving through the pain, by working with the pain, by allowing the pain to tell us what it needs to tell us. If we do all that, we can literally step to a gate and come to deep experiences of pleasure, of ecstasy is not of awakening. I'm struggling to find words here, but we can feel a deep opening. We can really feel that the yoni actually opens up and relaxes and is much more open and free to receive the partner. And this is, as I said often, the pain is almost the gates that are holding, that are closing, and that these are there to actually make sure, are we in alignment with ourselves, with our body, with this partner? Does it feel really good? Is it? So this pain is always stop, check in. Is this partner decent? Is this situation safe? Is this all good to go? And what I just said is not really relevant. What's relevant is that you feel into your pain and listen to the message it has to give to you. It might be different from what I just said. So, doing that can then release the pain, the stuff, and can open us to more profound experiences of sexual encounter and sexual penetration. But this takes time, and this takes also us to really let go of what we think sex should be. Nowadays, there's a lot of talk about tantra and sacred sexuality and meeting God through sex. And while this is all true, I partially experienced it. Obviously, there's no end to experiencing it. even that can make you go up in your head and think like, oh, I need to feel holy, and oh my god, this feels like this, so I'm like enlightened during sex. Like it's the same thing. Like this whole tantric sex, conscious sexuality, it's like it can be the same programming that we got from Hollywood movies. So watch out for that shit. And practice dropping in with yourself and your own felt sensations of the body. This is like so key to pain, working with pain. And honestly, it's a long journey. I speak to you as somebody who has worked with it most intensely for the last few years, 3 years mainly, since I'm with my amazing partner. But I still experience it. So this is also what I think is important, that we stay open, that we keep listening, that we keep being humble to our body. Because to me, pain now, it arises if I'm not listening. I feel pain when I'm pushing myself and my body to do something that I think it should do. Then the pain comes, and the pain's like, Katja, listen. It's the same that I talk about period pain in one of my period pain videos. Pain is a mechanism of the body to really draw us into our body, draw the attention in. Now, of course, there's also this crazy kind of pain that makes you dissociate because it's so strong. Then please contact some professionals in psychosomatic healing, for example. But I'm talking about this pain, discomfort that you're just checking out from. So as I mentioned earlier, I do offer work on this topic of feeling more empowered in your own body, in your sexuality, sexual encounters with other people. I will support you in working towards being able to communicate your needs better, to communicate with your partner, to feel your body more and to be more in the body, and to be with yourself, to practice this. I think to practice this is a good way of putting it, because to me this is a maybe lifelong practice, but quite a long practice, because even though I personally have come a very long way with this, very long, I still, of course, have lots of space to grow into in terms of embodiment and really being in my body and following the intelligence of my body at all times. This is I think what we are, amongst other things, are here for, to really reconnect with the body and follow the body's wisdom. Yeah, so I hope that this video was insightful. It might have been not very structured and a bit all over the place, but that's how it goes sometimes. I really appreciate if you watched or listened. Thank you so much. If you give this video a thumbs up, if you are on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel. I upload regular videos, sometimes also in German. And yeah, if you would actually leave this podcast a review as well, would be amazing. I would really appreciate that as well. So thank you again for your time, and speak to you next time. Bye bye.